I'm not teaching, I'm publicly learning. But hi and welcome to Learning for the Life in UK test part 370, Glossary part 6. While doing risk training, and if you participate in risk training, that's at your own risk. Now we're going through the words explained here. The next one explained is criminal law, and that is the legal system that deals with illegal activity. Maybe, no, in the last part I think I understood what a glossary is. So it's just a word, and the people were looking here in what is explained here, and when we're seeing what is criminal law, it is the legal system that deals with illegal activities. So criminal law. Let's make that. Do we know it? Who does the criminal law? These are the crown courts for serious offences. And they are judge and jury. In Scotland, there are the sheriff courts, there before a sheriff or sheriff and jury, and for very serious cases in Scotland, there is a high court before a jury, judge and jury. And for minor criminal offences, there are the magistrate courts. These are unpaid and unqualified magistrates. In Northern Ireland, they are paid and qualified, and in Scotland, it are the Justice of the Peace Courts. Justice of the Peace Courts. And then there's the youth courts for 10 to 17. Closed. Parents, carers should attend. No photographs. 3 specially schooled magistrates or a judge. In Scotland there's the children's singing system. In Northern Ireland there's additionally the youth conferencing system. And it was judge and jury in Scotland High Court. So criminal law. It's the legal system that deals with illegal activities. Decree, in the context of law, it is an official order, law or decision. They used that word at one place, but I don't know it anymore where it was. And so a decree, but it's an official order. So it is said, if I get it right, because I don't know it really, also with the explanation. That is the decree, that is the decision, that is the law, that is the official order. I don't get it. If it's not that, but maybe it's it. Democratic country. A country which is governed by people who are elected by the population to represent them. So democratic devolution, they're explaining devolved, if it's the same word. Democratic country, that is a country where the people are electing a person and that person is then governing and representing the people and now doing the government job. That is a democratic country, and the United Kingdom is a democracy. It has a democracy. And devolution, the passing of power from a central government to another group at a regional or local level, which can then be called a devolved administration. Now there are these 3. The Scottish Parliament, the Senate, the Scottish Parliament, just the Scottish Parliament, and then the Senate in Wales, and the Northern Ireland Assembly. The Senate in Wales was formed in 1999. There are 60 SMs, Senate members, and they are elected every 4 years, but there was districts. And then there is the Scottish Parliament. There are 129. The Scottish Parliament. MSPs. They are elected by representation. There was a Northern Ireland something, but it was from 1922 until 1972 for 50 years, but after the start of the trouble in 1986, it was no more. And then there is no Northern Ireland, but it was suspended a couple of times. The Northern Ireland Assembly, the MLAPs, the members of Legislative Assembly, they are 90. They also voted in a representative form. So these are devolved administrations because there is power passed on from the central government to another more local government. And that is then a devolved administration. So now we know what devolved means. Do we know it really? Or just in that context? So if you account it again in some other book, devolved. it would mean that power is passed on from a central government to a smaller one. Maybe that's just a very specific explanation in that context, but maybe that will be enough. A dialect. A dialect is a form of language spoken by a particular group of people living in a particular area. Now that was on that one page, and maybe we should go back to that. As I said, we should learn that in Scotland, in the Highlands and on the islands, was it Celtic? And then there's in Wales is Welsh spoken, and there's also some Ulster spoken. It's also the first page of the Yellow Pages. So in Wales, there are some people speaking Welsh. In Scotland, Gaelic, and in Northern Ireland, Irish Gaelic. So it's Gaelic. So in Wales, Welsh, in Scotland, Gaelic, in some parts in the Highlands and the Islands, and Northern Ireland, Irish Gaelic. So it's Gaelic. In Wales, Welsh, and in Scotland, Gaelic, and in Northern Ireland, Irish Gaelic. And these are not dialects. Are these dialects? Dialects. No, these are completely different languages. So these are completely different languages. They are, of course, a bit related, but they are not understandable. Dialects and these are different languages, and then there are dialects that is not so strong. It's still understandable. And then there are accent that is even less strong, but they haven't given us an example, and we're not really able to give examples. And now we're going to do the wrist training. So if you're just here for, how many did you do? 5? For another 5? And that's just until N. You're going to have 3-4 pages more. So if you're here for the next part of going through all these words, then you can go directly to the next part. Otherwise, we're going to do the wrist training. And if you participate in wrist training, that is at your own risk. We're having the hands next to us, formed to fists. Go to the side. And we're bringing them down and up. That is the spotlight. And we're having 3 rules. The first rule is that we're stopping immediately as soon as we feel pain. The second rule is that we're going only as fast as we can go with a little bit of effort. And the third rule is, and you're not overdoing it. The next exercise, the flashlight. This is now to the inside, to the outside. And there have been quite a lot of exercises, so you can take a break at any moment. But I'm going to announce 2 or 3 exercises which are fitting to skip, because we need a few to warm up. That was the last one. And now we're doing the T-Rex in the morning. Flat hands out, and we bring these flat hands down. And again up. And one last time. And now the T-Rex image. If you don't have a tennis ball, you can do it just without one. You just make a strong fist, or with a tennis ball, you press onto the tennis ball with moderate force. And release again. And you press again. And releasing. And you press again. The last time. Now we're switching to the outside. And we're pressing. And releasing. Pressing again. Releasing. And the last time. We are pressing. And releasing. Now the cautious big bang. You're placing the finger tips of one hand on top of the fingernails of the other hand. Pressing a bit. Now we're opening and we're closing. Opening and we're closing. Last time. And we're switching. And again, opening and One last time. And now we're doing the West Coast Bridge. Flat hands next to us. And we're bending them at the knuckles. With the hands. So we have flat hands and then we're bending at the knuckles. You might keep standing a little bit here. Okay. Next exercise, the field daisies Sylvias-Defekte. Hands like that. And the opening and the closing. We are opening and closing. And the next exercise, you might skip this exercise, the frog testing the water temperature. Bringing the hands down with flat fingers and bringing them up and making strong fists. Bringing them down with flat fingers, bringing them up and making strong fists. Again, down with flat fingers and up with strong fists. Again, down flat fingers, up with strong fists. Last time. Now we're doing the claw. We're having flat hands and we're making claws. We're opening again and we're making claws. We're holding it for 1-2 seconds and we're opening again. And making claws for 1-2 seconds and open. And last time. Next exercise, you can skip this again. Arms in, make strong fists and bring them into flexion. Now open the arms and bring the hands into extension with flat fingers. Again, in with the arms, strong fists into flexion. And out, extension with flat fingers. Again, in, strong fists, flexion. Out, extended. Actually, arms are also extended. Extended wrists and fingers, flexion. The last one. And out, extension. And flat fingers. And let's end here. Now we ice X. Flat hand. Bend it at the knuckles. And we're pressing time to time on top of the finger. And with the other hand, bend at the knuckles and press again, one at a time, on top of the fingers. And I think we're at the last exercise. The unfolding rocket boosters. Long arms, hands formed to fists, strong fists, and bring these strong fists to the inside. And to the outside into extension with flat fingers. Again to the inside and to the outside. The inside, strong fists, and into extension with flat fingers. One last round, flexion, strong fists, to the outside, extension, flat fingers. And let's again end here. Now we're going with more pressure over the little arm of the middle part of the arm. And on the other side, it is here where this extension to the toe muscle lies. This one. We want to relax with it. And last time, so there were Sir William Golding, Seamus Henry, and Harold Pinter, who are British people who won the Literature Nobel Prize. Now, and where we can do that, why not also learn 3 architects? These are Sir Norman Foster, Lord Richard Rogers, Dame Zahara Hartleid. Sir Norman Foster Lord Richard Rogers. Richard Rogers. Sir Norman Foster. Sir Norman Foster, Lord Richard Rogers and Dame Zahara Hadid. I thank you very much and until next time.